Good evening, everyone. Is the Town of Fairfield Conservation Commission acting as the Inland Wetlands Agency. Today's April 2nd, 2025. I think we need to start with the, if we all start with the pledge and let's begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go with Heather and Dan. Hi, Sal. So they are appointed as full members tonight with all voting rights and privileges. Okay. Moving on to Roman numeral 4, the approval of draft meeting minutes. 1 Inland Wetlands Agency meeting, March 12th, 2025. Oh, and Dabney is here, so I will go back to appointment of alternates and Diane, let you step down. Okay, and so Dabney's here, so it's only Heather as the alternate. And any issues or questions or corrections with the Inland Wetlands Agency meeting of March 12th, 2025?
Just
Yeah.
one quick, that says that Kate O'Mahony was present here and she actually was not. We did not catch that when it went out.
Okay.
So we.
Good,
like
fix that.
That was her spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah, on page 4, on 4480 Black Rock, it says that it was a unanimous vote. But I believe
No, it was.
they voted no on that.
You are right. I think Commissioner Fain and Commissioner Bowen have
Yeah.
voted.
I know I didn't.
Okay, thank you. Any other corrections or comments to that one? I will also add to that, although I think it's just an addition, it wasn't in here, that we were supposed to have a site walk for what's gonna be coming up today at the golf course. That obviously didn't happen, so I'll discuss that when that comes up, okay? But that should have been in there. But we'll deal
It
with
was, so it was on page 6.
it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I didn't see it there. But we'll talk about it when that comes up next. Okay. With the corrections, anything else? Then a motion to approve from anyone? Diane, and that be seconds, all in favor? Aye. Okay, around. Right, we're going into no public hearing, which is, I guess, nice. 6, Roman 6, application for receipt. Number 1 WP-25-0031 Land Tech, 845 Mill Hill Terrace, map 228, parcel 16. 4-lot residential subdivision with associated infrastructure within a regulated area. The last day for public hearing and decision is June 6, 2025. Last regular meeting prior is June 4th, 2025. The staff recommends scheduled public hearing for May 7th, 2025. We should do that. But there's also the applicant's request for a fee waiver. I think we should take that up now so they know what we're doing. And I had Sarah look it up. I'll have her make a few comments if you can.
Yes, so most of you may recall that we previously saw this property for a 5-lot subdivision last spring. It came in, it was denied. And they were given some feedback as to what things they would like to see on any new application. And the commission had indicated at that time that they would entertain a fee waiver request on a new submission. This was on the June 2024 meeting.
All right. Commissioners, any questions or comments on the request for fee waiver? I remember what we were doing then. It seemed to be, we were open to that. I don't think we would have any issues with that, but if anybody has any issues, please let me know. Otherwise,
I'm not in favor of it, but
Okay.
I won't oppose.
Okay. Anybody want to put a motion up one way or the other?
Sorry, she's gonna.
Here, is staff gonna still, with the reduction to the 4, is it still gonna be a lot of work or is it gonna be less work for you? I mean, do you think a full fee waiver or half? What is your?
It's really up to you guys. I mean, we're still reviewing it. But it was brought up at the last one.
Right.
And they were,
If you wanna move to for partial, I will second you.
It's your pleasure.
That doesn't mean we would,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean anybody has to go for
Right.
that either, but I mean, if you wanna do that. I
So
think
right
that's
now,
a good
we're
idea.
in parliamentary rules. You can bring up any motion, as long as it gets seconded, we can discuss it and vote on it. It doesn't.
And then they can go on if it doesn't work.
the initial fee that they paid back in
Yeah.
2024 was approximately $17,000.
Okay.
It is the new fee would be $15,010.
I'll make a motion to vacate it once they're coming back, hopefully with our suggestions.
Okay. Anybody second that?
Second that.
And Commissioner, Paul seconded. Any discussion?
I didn't hear the motion.
It's to approve the fee waiver.
They've already paid
Yeah,
it.
so they've already paid it, and they came back with supposedly, once we look at it, just with our, suggestion. So that's the part of the motion that was seconded.
Who did the second on that?
Heather,
Okay.
any comments? Any? Okay, no comment? No? Well, we can just vote on it. All in favor of the fee waiver? I'm in favor, so Kate's in favor, Ted's in favor, Luke and Heather. So everybody else is no's. And
That
you're a no?
was Commissioner Hood and Boucher was no?
That is correct. So the fee waiver is passed. Okay. Now we're getting to Roman numeral 7, applications for discussion. This is number 1, WP 25-0015, William Penny Associates LLC, 1118 Cross Highway, that's Patterson Club.
We have to schedule a public hearing for.
I did, May
Oh,
7th.
okay.
Yeah, I said the
All right.
May 7th. I don't think we need to vote on that.
No,
Scheduling it,
yeah.
Did you hear me with that, Sarah?
Yes,
May 7th?
yeah.
You did, okay, wanna make sure. Sorry, thanks. No problem. So map 220, parcel 23, redesign of golf course layout, including regrading and cart path relocation. Modification of drainage and subsurface sewage disposal systems, construction of 2 new accessory buildings and associated plantings within a regulated area. The public hearing closed March 12th, 2025. The agency shall make a decision within 35 days on and before April 16, 2025. Commissioners not present, 3/12/25. And be eligible to vote, they must state for the record that they have listened to the recording, viewed the exhibits, and that would be Kate O'Mahony. And Kate?
I did.
You did. Excellent. So you're good with that. And I guess so staff recommends approval of conditions. Before we start, I just want to state for the record that we should have done a sidewalk. We didn't. And also the applicant gave information that went to staff, but that's not part of the record. So I believe, at least I feel this way, we saw it from last year, most of us, and we're comfortable with it. I'm comfortable with the presentation that was given last time. What I will ask when the applicant comes up is just for informational purposes only after, and I prefer to vote today, that they would offer us the ability to go out just to look at it so that people can, we have new commissioners here, kind of see what it is, give us a little refresher. Well, has nothing to do with what's gonna happen tonight. And I think they would be open to that. Any issues with that, either staff or commissioners?
I think great idea, right?
No, okay, very good. Let's have the applicant come on up. Counsel, how are you, sir?
Doing well. For the record, Mr. Chairman, I'm Attorney Bill Fitzpatrick for the Patterson Club.
Sure. So we had this last time. Is there anything more? Was there any questions? I don't remember. There's anything outstanding?
There were two suggested conditions of approval.
Okay,
One was we eliminate this target green in the practice area that's in a wetland.
Mhm.
We are perfectly amenable to that.
okay,
The other was on poll number 13, a cart path proposed and a ladies' tee proposed be eliminated and the status quo remain. And we're perfectly happy with that.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions about that?
No.
No? Hello, sir. You want to say anything or are you just kind of hanging out? You know, all right.
Good to see you, Bill.
Well, I don't think there's much here. Any motion to approve with the conditions as stated?
Yeah, I make a motion to approve it as stated.
Okay, Rick and Ted seconds?
Yep.
Okay, all in favor? That's pretty much all around, yes? Okay.
Also, Mr. Chairman, we'd be happy to have a site walk with any members of the commission anytime. So Sarah talked to Mr. Mearsman.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you,
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
One comment,
Yes.
actually. I did vote in favor, but it would be nice, I did study the planting plan and it would be nice if there was a section that you're transplanting trees, also planting new trees. They didn't see anything for any understory or ground cover. And I think just given the fact that it's like in a sensitive area, that might be a nice addition to consider.
In the transplanting area.
In the transplant, and I think also you just had like a little juniper forest somewhere. I just thought like, I know they'll grow dense, but until they kind of.
And in most of those areas, the intention is that it's within a meadow environment. So the ground cover would be meadow.
It's already there. Okay, that wasn't clear to me from the reading.
Well, thank you. Thank you for
Thank you.
clarifying that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good luck, guys.
I'd like to see it.
All right. So, we'll follow up with the setting up of the sidewalk and all that, which is for informational purposes only. The record's closed, we voted on it. So no issues there. All right. We're moving on to number 8, Roman 8, bills and bond releases. Number 1, IWP 2018-19-04, Ocean Park LLC 400 Bronson Road, map 229, parcel 187A. Demolition of an existing barn and construction of a new single-family dwelling within the regulated area. The request for final bond release of $6,000. Partial $13,041 bond release was approved in January of 2025. Final site work and as-built survey have been completed, and staff recommends final bond release of $6,000. So Sarah, you're good with that?
Yep, everything looked good here. They just had a couple little final site work things that needed to be buttoned up, which they've done, and we have the final as-built and everything looked good.
You're good. All right.
You need to vote?
I think so. It would be good. I think.
I make a motion that we approve with staff.
Okay, Rick and Ted.
Second.
Yeah.
All in favor? Aye, yay,
Aye.
all around. All right. What's the second one is number 2, IWP 2015-16-14, Hinman, 735 Reading Road, map 223, article 34. The demolish existing home and construct new dwelling within a regulated area, request for final bond release of $7,900. Staff recommends a partial bond release of $4,900, $3,000 to be held through fall 2027 for plant survivability. So,
So this one is a little odd because it's an older one, as you can see from the number. The house had been done a few years ago and they never did the required plantings within the conservation easement and the rain garden
okay,
that were there. So that was finally at the end of February, planted per the planting plan that had been approved back in 2018. So we can release a partial bond, but we want to hold some just to make sure that it survives a few growing seasons.
okay, is that enough? The 3,000?
Yeah, I
You
think
comfortable with
that's,
that number?
yeah.
Based on the plans and all that that are
Yes.
there? Okay, all right. Any other questions or comments, commissioners? Any motion to approve the partial bond? Ted,
I'll second it.
all right, Ted and Rick, they're the all-stars tonight, so.
I'm working on my arm.
You are
All in
good.
favor of the partial bond? All right, all around. Okay. Rule 9, this is the legal enforcement actions. Number 1, is show cause hearing for Muddy Puddle LLC, 737 Cross Highway, map 170, lot 36. Conducting a significant activity, filling of inland wetlands in a regulated area without a permit, and we have counsel with us tonight. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Chair, members of the Commission, Chris Russo with Russo and Rizzi LLC, office at 10 Sasko Hill Road in Fairfield. Here on behalf of the Muddy Puddle LLC. I have, so I've talked to Tim, I had a conversation with Tim about this, and about the violation,
By Tim, just so we know.
oh, Tim Bishop, sorry. Yeah, no, I should have said that.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good to put that on the record. Had a conversation with him to get an understanding of what the violation is. The claim that there's that fill that was deposited in a wetland. He showed me some pictures, pointed out to me. I talked to my client. He has retained Jim McManus, who you might be familiar, had
Same crew.
come across the street. Yes, so the crew's back together.
Yeah.
So Jim has been retained. He's looking at it. I've explained, I think Tim and Jim, considering they actually know what they're talking about, are probably best to have a conversation with each other so they could understand, at least Jim could understand it. And then the hope is that we would be back with you once Jim has made an assessment and then had a conversation with Tim, hopefully to figure it out.
Great. For my purposes, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
Glad to hear all of this stuff is happening. It was just concerning that it got one letter got to the second level. Because I think now it's a short cause hearing. There was a notice of violation that was ignored or wasn't seen, whatever it is, but at least there's.
There was,
working on it.
we are, and I will say, so, my client reached out to me, there was, we were supposed to meet, he had to cancel and then he rescheduled, but I had to go away as well and I had trials, so it's partly on me as well. So, but I talked to Jim, I confirmed Jim's been retained, and so he's gonna work on it and then hopefully we can address the issue. Because there are, my understanding from Jim and my client, there's Japanese bamboo that is over in that area, and so there's all this stuff, and I just, so I have to defer to them.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But, at this point, I think we'll just continue this.
Yes.
Give you time to do what you gotta do. And I think that modus operandi of your client is once he gets people involved, it gets done. So I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad Jim's on board. So that'll be good.
Hopefully moving forward, yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And moving on to number 2 is 132 Beaver Street. Map 40, lot 404. Notice of violation issued to property owner for conducting regulated activities in a regulated area without a permit. Deposition of debris and playground equipment on town open space property. I know a little bit about it, but Sarah, do you want to talk about it? It's up to you.
Yeah, I could just give a quick summary. So the town just recently acquired 152 Beaver Street. And while Tim was out there, he noticed some encroachment into the town property with just some playground equipment. And I guess a little debris dumping. So he's been in contact with the owner of 132. They're gonna move everything out, clean it up. I think they've said they would have it done within 30 days.
Yeah, all right.
Right.
So we can continue that as well, just to keep following up on it. It's, the town just got that property. Tim obviously had to do what he had to do. People were doing it with the neighbor that didn't care, so I think that's fair to give them time to do what they have to do. All right, number 3 is an update on 3642 Black Rock Turnpike, at 72 lot 150. Notice of violation issued to property owner for conducting regulated activities in a regulated area without a permit. No response to NOV corrective action order. Town attorney initiated legal action. But now I see counsel. Hello, counsel again.
There's Chris Russo with
Time no see.
Chris Russo with Russo and Rizzi LLC, offices at 10 Sasko Hill Road in Fairfield, Connecticut, here on behalf of the owner of 3642 Black Rock Turnpike, Margaret Donnelly. So yes, this was it's a long history with this property that, as far as I should say, it's a long year for this property. I don't know if you saw this property in the news. It was it had a fire. There was other circumstances, I guess, I'll just leave it at that. There was a tenant who had lived there for 6 years. There was a fire, that rendered it uninhabitable. There was a rather, contentious few months of trying to evict that tenant, and for the client to be able to gain control of that property. He secured a permit. My understanding is some of the work that they did went beyond what the permit had. So, but there was also an issue with the delivery of their mail. They were not living, nobody was living there. And they didn't receive those prior notices. The action was served, the marshal went and he actually he was able to force the door open a little bit and shove the order in and received it. I could say my client was served, he found it on Sunday, he was in my office on Monday morning. Somebody who's done work in the town a lot over the years, is known in town hall. So he immediately came to me trying to resolve the situation. I reached out to Tim Bishop to discuss the violation, which he kind of ran through some things. We had somebody work on a plan, Earl Govan, with Blades and Govan, produce this plan, which I've already submitted to Tim to see if this, satisfies, because we said normally and I don't like speaking for people, but what I gathered from Tim is that something like this would normally have been handled administratively. And so what he had asked was that we get a plan and submit for a permit, which is what we're now doing. So my client has submitted to him, I think Tim's reviewed it, and his plan was to go this week and pull the permit.
Same thing. Oh, sorry. One just similar to Muddy Puddle, now involved. Experts are involved. You've spoken to the staff, and it's my understanding actually the action was drawn.
I don't know if the town attorney has withdrawn it yet.
Okay.
But Tim's indication to me was that he was gonna tell him to at least pause it or withdraw.
Okay.
But it seems like it'd be resolved quickly.
Very good.
Okay.
And generally this would be, I did speak to Tim Bishop, this would be a staff level kind of thing, so we wouldn't even have seen it if it wasn't for the NOV and the show cause hearing. But now that you're involved, I'm comfortable, you just do what you gotta do with Tim. Any questions, if you have any issues with that, I think our staff does a good job and let them do their job.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
That's it for me.
That's it, all right.
Till next month.
We'll pull you back.
Number 4 is an update, and that's the Pilot House Special Needs Resource Foundation, Inc., 1220 and 1260 Merwin's Lane, map 220, parts 11 and 12. Recent agency denial petition for declaratory ruling request to allow the position of asphalt millings to create a parking area within a regulated area. Initial department wetlands professionals on January 20th, 2025 to discuss concepts for corrective action. Sarah, do you know if there's any particular update?
So I spoke with Bill Kenny earlier. He actually had sent a plan at the end of the day today. They are planning to submit an application to be received at the next meeting.
That's good. That was the whole point of it. So they did have counsel and professionals, and it's not being ignored. It's just being, worked on, and it's in the fastest way that they possibly could.
Yeah, we haven't looked at the new plan that he
Sure.
sent, but
But it wasn't
are
ignored.
yeah,
Something was
exactly,
done.
yeah,
Okay.
they're planning for next month.
Right, where we have,
It looks like Ms. Caruso was online. I don't know if there was anything.
well, there's nothing
To add,
to
yeah.
say or to add. We're still, everybody's fine. Everybody's moving along, and we'll see what's presented, at that time, when it's brought for us.
Work in progress.
Yeah, okay. Unless any commissioners have anything further to add on that particular one? No, okay. Number 5 is the update, Norwood 120 Wakeman Lane, map 246, lot 5C, significant activities, deposition of material, wetland diversion, et cetera, without a permit. I do know that nothing's going on there, but the trial date is April 30th. So there might not be anything, because they're just waiting to go to trial. So, there really isn't any update there on that, right, sir?
Right, yeah, that's the same thing. as-
Okay, we'll find out what happens, if, when the trial moves forward, if it's not continued or whatever it is, we'll find out next month. Okay? All right, number 10, staff reports. Number 1, report from the Conservation Department. A CWC permit applications received 6, B, notice of violation issued 2, and C, bonds released 3. Do you wanna say anything about it?
No, just, it's picked up by, and it was a shorter time period and because the last month's meeting was a week later than normal.
All right,
So, the numbers aren't a full month's
Okay.
representative.
very good. Okay, 2, site walks for April. Well, there wasn't a public hearing, but should we schedule the Patterson Club
Yeah.
one now?
That'd be good.
Or do you wanna talk to, you gotta talk
Why
to.
don't I, yeah, why don't I coordinate with them, cause we've gotta see when they can
Yeah.
get carts, then.
Yep.
there's
Please
not-
coordinate so we don't freak, it'd be good to have the commissioners that haven't seen it to go out there and then maybe they can even show us what the new plans will be in.
Yeah.
In real life as opposed to just maps and
See how the
things.
dredging's coming
Yeah.
too.
That would be good.
And I don't know if anyone wants to see the 845 Mill Hill Terrace again.
Yeah. Okay,
845 Mill Hill Terrace, if that is of
Yeah.
any interest for our site walk.
I think we should.
That's
you wanna see it again?
Is it pre-flagged? That was the other issue. Remember when we were out
Yeah, there
there?
was
It
no
was,
flag.
there was
We
the,
weren't
the-
sure what we were
especially,
looking at.
but I think that
It's so steep.
it's really steep, and I think that maybe that steepest one is the one that's now been, is that the one that's been eliminated?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because there were no, I'm sorry.
it's not marked. I was there today.
Oh, you
Oh,
were?
you were,
and
okay.
It's not marked at all. It's very ambiguous. I would request a sidewalk.
So I can ask before we schedule it, if they can.
Flag
I want them to flag.
So what would, cause the wetlands are not on the site itself, it's off-site,
Right.
but what would you like to see staked out?
I would like to see it flagged.
But there's
Just
no
with-
flag.
Flagged with what, cause there's,
Well, it's
the
already,
wetlands are off-site, so they can't.
the wetland along
They-
the.
Can they at least
It's already
flag?
flagged.
I know they're not gonna be these lots, cause it's more for information as
Yeah.
opposed to, oh, these are gonna be the lots because who knows what happens. They're just
Like,
there
you have the
for
property
road.
lines
The-
marked,
The property lines and then
And where the wetlands are.
maybe the
wetlands
easement.
are off-site.
Well,
That's right.
I'm not as concerned
the
as
street-
to where the wetland is to the slope,
The slope.
towards the wetland, because should something happen
And
up
then
there.
Property lines.
And I
maybe
think
the
that's what our
proposed
concern,
easement
The
our
line.
proposed
yes,
easement.
Yeah.
because I think when we stood there, it was so sheer, there was no way even to
Well, because you
access
gotta.
it, and
you gotta
maybe we
go-
should access it from that backside,
I
where
wanna
the-
go up to that road and look.
maybe that, is that how you
Anyway.
guys have looked at it? Because we tried to go up, but I think that the road is actually gonna come down off that other road, maybe we
Yeah.
should try doing it that
From
way.
Hamlet.
From Hamlet Hill.
It should be
Okay.
marked.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to.
Maybe the road and at least the corners of the properties that are on that hill, on that slope side.
So the proposed lot lines,
Yep. And
The proposed
their
road
relation
and
to
lot
the easement area and where the road is.
Yeah, mark the curve where they're gonna cut the new road.
That was
off
up through.
Okay.
Off of Hamlet Hill.
The Hamlet Hill.
so property lines, proposed easement line, proposed road, and proposed lot lines.
Yeah. Lot line, property lines,
Some of
yeah.
it's marked.
I wanna see the
You don't know
actual
where
lay
they're
of
going.
the, and understand.
Well, now I know that we can access it.
They got the fee waiver, they can spend $1,000.
We tried to do.
That's where I went
Yeah.
in later on.
You did, yes.
Yeah.
Waiver, they can spend $1,000
I
at
forgot.
flag.
So I walked.
That's exactly right.
And you're not gonna be.
You don't wanna do it again?
Yeah.
Nostalgia? All right.
All right. I think that's it, right? No, there
When
are-
did you want
Nostalgia's overrated.
Yeah.
to schedule that for? I do need to give them enough time to mark everything.
Okay,
The wetlands along the pond are marked, and so is the easement.
Oh, good.
That much is already marked.
The existing
so is-
easement on
Because
the
of the
Maplewood
pond,
property?
and the wetlands that's offsite is also
23rd and
flagged,
24th, that
as
Wednesday.
well as there's a water course that, an old one that goes down, that's marked.
Okay, good.
The lots themselves are not. Right. What, the pink flags you'd be looking for, yeah, they're all.
okay.
Is that, would that work for everybody? That Wednesday,
What date?
the 23rd?
We have not had.
There is a
conservation
conservation commission.
Oh, there is? Oh, well, maybe I'm 30th, that's right.
I'm out.
30th is getting packed.
Yeah. Okay, then how about 24th, the next day, Thursday, is that okay?
I'm good.
Okay. It's 24th at what's the good time to work, I guess, 6:30,
You may be pushing sunlight at that point, you may be,
6?
it's gonna get dark.
Okay, 6 o'clock on the 24th?
That works, yeah.
Okay, whoever can make it. All right, so we'll do that.
Okay, good.
Okay. All right,
I'll send pictures to whoever has them.
Yeah. all right. Roman numeral now 11, other, 1, introduction of Fairfield FERB's master plan by Gregory Podluski, PLS CF. Hello, sir. Please, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, what you're doing.
As you. I'm Gregory Podleski. I'm a licensed professional engineer and land surveyor. I'm also a certified floodplain manager and a member of the Fairfield Flood Prevention, Climate Resilience and Erosion Control Board. Or as it's abbreviated, FERB. The FERB has retained Weston and Sampson as a consultant to help us build a master resilient plan for addressing flood and erosion issues throughout the town. This is strictly a preliminary introductory meeting, just to keep the commission advised of where we're at and to just assure you that anything that has anything near any inland wetlands, you'll be fully on board and we'll keep you fully aware. That's our intent. We're addressing roughly 10 different areas throughout town. Coastal flooding, riverine flooding, pluvial flooding. I've been around long enough. I know it is not going away. It cannot be stopped. But what we can do is we can try to reduce the frequency and reduce the intensity of some of these storms. Our goal with this master resiliency plan is we're not looking to harden the shore against a heavy duty hurricane. That's economically, it's not feasible. And physically, it would so change the characteristic of the shoreline, we probably wouldn't want to do it anyway. So we're working on addressing nor'easters primarily, and other heavy duty rainstorms. Rooster River is definitely a big area of concern. And Rooster River's been a big area of concern for as long as I can remember.
Yes.
Just give you an idea of how long I've been interested in flooding in Fairfield. When I was in high school, it was more than a couple of years ago. One of my projects I did, I studied what was going on with the flooding down near where Home Depot is now, because that was a major problem back then. So flooding's been a concern of mine for almost as long as I can remember. I've just recently been appointed to FERB and I'm excited about it. At my day job, I'm the city engineer in Milford. Where I also get heavily involved in flooding issues and erosion issues and stormwater mitigation, all of which I take very seriously. And again, the whole purpose of this is just to introduce the board to this commission. And hopefully we can work in alliance for the advantage of the town and the citizens of the town. And I look forward to presenting to you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Yeah.
coming by. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
very much.
Thank you.
And thanks for
Appreciate it.
serving,
Yeah.
bringing your expertise, because it really does, it's a complicated,
Yeah.
hard.
Part of my problem is that I've got to keep them grounded. I know what I want to do.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'll bring it. Sure, I'll bring it.
There are limitations to what can be done.
Right.
And so you want to prioritize so that you get the most value for the town and for the citizens.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so
All
much.
right. Anybody else like to bring anything up? Other?
Have a good evening.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Yes.
I just wanted to let everybody know that Earth Day is the 26th. Historically, we have an exhibit at the Y, and I believe that's
Yes.
happening again. It helps, Tim coordinates it, but we all participate in it, so we don't have any details ironed out yet, but plan on it. We'll do something with
Yeah,
it.
happy to do
Mary's
this.
been asking.
I know, Mary got me too.
Yeah.
I said I'd bring it up, April
Is
20,
she
When is
in
it?
charge of it?
26th.
yes, April 26th, 10 to 1
Yeah.
at the Y.
On that day?
Yes.
Oh, wait,
We
no.
might-
It's a Saturday.
Saturday.
That's
It's a Saturday,
that's
yeah.
okay, yeah.
And
Third Saturday.
Mary said we might need to bring our own table.
Well, we did last time.
That's what I said.
had the
Yeah.
tent and-
And I said, and I said, we even have
I have
access to a
tables.
tent.
All set. I have
We'll pull it
chairs all
together.
set. I have stand-ups all set.
Okay, perfect.
We're good.
We're done. I
Well,
mean,
but,
terms of the
you can-
prep work,
you get
we're all
these,
set.
Whoever's.
And we got
Mary
it.
or whatever, and then I'll bring the tent, you guys get the chairs,
That'd be great.
and
Good.
we'll pitch in for the coffee and donut.
Terrific.
Any,
good.
anybody else on others? Is this a record?
It's a
Record.
record.
The record.
Way to go.
I feel like we left something out, but I didn't.
I said that to Tim when we were going through, I was like, I'm missing something, and then.
Rat training on the 30th?
Thirty?